bicycle. They say he took off running. Jennifer Dupre is with Long Beach police.
Officers attempted various de-escalation techniques in an effort to stop the suspect.
She says they tried taking him down without using deadly force at first.
They did deploy their conducted electrical weapon, in which case the suspect then brandished a firearm towards one of the officers.
The officers claimed they heard at least one shot, so they opened fire. The wounded man was taken to the hospital, where he later died. Police found a gun at the scene. It's not clear why they were trying to stop him to begin with. In Long Beach, John Baird, KNX 1070 News Radio.
Friends and family of basketball coach Christina Mauser gathered in Huntington Beach for private funeral services. Mauser was among those who were killed last month in the helicopter. Mauser was the former coach at Orange County's Harbor Day School, where Kobe's daughter Gigi attended. He also Mauser is survived by her husband and 3 children. 78 years later, the state of California poised to issue an official apology. On Thursday, the state assembly is due to pass a resolution with the apology introduced by Torrance lawmaker Almer Asucci. He says the order for internment signed by President Roosevelt in 1942 shattered lives.
Executive Order 9066 destroyed countless American dreams. Innocent people lost their homes and property, their farms, their businesses.
430,000 people of Japanese descent live in California, the largest population of any state. A congressional commission in 1983 concluded that the detentions were the result of racial prejudice, war hysteria, and failure of political leadership. 5 years later, the federal government formally apologized, paid $20,000 in reparations to each victim. California could face another challenge in its efforts to stem the growing homeless crisis. That's because the Trump administration's new $4.8 trillion budget plan includes some deep cuts to housing programs. The budget for HUD will be reduced by 15%. Critics say cutting federal programs like housing vouchers and affordable housing grants will likely lead to more low-income families sliding into homelessness. HUD says it'll continue to work with helping the most vulnerable populations. There's a whale tangled up in a net. That story's coming up in 2 minutes. Right now, 7:35. Traffic and weather together every 10 minutes and 5 years for Rick Smith.
On the westbound side of the 10 in Pomona, this is right before you get to Dudley. We've got a stalled car up against the center divider. CHP looks like they're going to stop traffic, trying to push that over. So expect a little bit of a delay through there. In Bellflower, westbound 91, before Bellflower Boulevard, it's a hit-run crash. Looks like everything's over to the right shoulder. Just a lot of activity going on over there. We had that earlier wreck in La Mirada, the northbound side of the 5 at Valley View. That is out of the way. The slow lane's been reopened there. I'm still seeing slowing from Beach Boulevard, but the traffic is starting to thin out on that stretch. Good news in the Sepulveda Pass, they got rid of the crash on the southbound 405 before Getty Center, and that's actually looking like a pretty good drive off of the 101 all the way down to the 10 freeway in Granada Hills. The 118 East connector of the 405 north, there's a car with a flat tire. Left lane to that transition is plugged up. 118 east before Glen Oaks Boulevard. That's where we've got a wreck on the right shoulder. Looks like this car ran into some boxes or some other debris in lanes, and that's what caused that. And a couple of other cars have reported that they've hit it. So just be really careful if you're headed through there. Next report at 7:45. I'm Rick Smith with more traffic reports more often. KNX 1070 News Radio.
It's going to be sunny and windy today with highs in the 60s to mid-70s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy near the coast, but sunny inland. Gusty winds with highs in the 60s. The beaches will see 70s inland and the valleys. Your exclusive 5-day forecast is coming up at 7:45. Currently, we have 48 degrees in West Covina, 50 in Malibu, 51 in Santa Ana, 7:37. An alert has gone out about a humpback whale entangled in a fishing net off the coast of San Diego. The whale was first spotted by a whale-watching boat. The captain tells CBS San Diego how his passengers and crew first became aware.
Out in that zone, we saw these just colossal splashes, which pretty much only means one thing, and that's a humpback whale actually jumping out of the water, which they are famous for doing.
When he got up close, they realized the whale was tangled up in a green fishing net, and that's why it was thrashing around.
It was just not ready again to be helped yet. So the biggest key is the whale watching community throughout all of Southern California, all the way up to Monterey Bay, California, is probably going to be in communication with one another, being on the lookout for this whale so that we can have a rescue team ready if and when it does finally start to really tire out and slow down.
Crews from NOAA and SeaWorld San Diego were notified of the whale in trouble, but SeaWorld says it was swimming too fast for them to continue rescue efforts. It is President's Day, and what better way to spend it than at the place where you can meet lots of presidents and first ladies, sort of.
We're talking about, of course, taking in the Ronald Reagan Library in Simi Valley.
Fun activities for the entire family, presidential lookalikes and first lady lookalikes, presidential bingo, and a whole bunch of picnic games. We have sack races and water balloon tosses and a whole bunch of fun things like that.
Spokesperson Melissa Giller, who tells KNX all the special activities are free, but the tour of the library is at regular price. Presidential actors will perform in the library theater for what's billed as a history lesson and more. It's one of the 3 busiest days of the year at the library, so they'll open up a separate parking lot, too.
Ask that you be patient, get on one of our shuttles, our complimentary shuttles that will take you up our hill. Once you're at the top of the hill, lots of fun, things to do to keep you busy all day.
She says the current exhibit features Egypt's lost cities. Bob Brill, KNX 1070 News Radio.
Events are from 10 to 3 today, and there's also going to be events at the Nixon Library in Yorba Linda starting at 10 o'clock. The Democratic presidential race focusing on Nevada and South Carolina. A few candidates are looking to make their mark.
Please give a warm welcome to Mayor Pete Buttigieg.
Pete Buttigieg getting a rousing reception from supporters about to canvass for him in Henderson, Nevada. Nevada's caucuses are next up on the 2020 presidential calendar. Senator Amy Klobuchar's poll numbers have been low in those states, but she tells ABC's This Week she's on an upward path.
We've got teams now in every Super Tuesday state.
Tom Steyer has been considered a long shot, but he tells ABC's This Week he's had people on the ground in both states.
With the kind of diverse coalition that I believe I'm building and that I believe I will show, then that will give me the momentum and people will have to look at me as a serious candidate.
I'm Ben Thomas.
More than 1,000 former Justice Department officials are calling on Attorney General William Barr to resign for overruling the sentencing recommendation of Roger Stone, a longtime ally of President Trump. Senate Minority Leader Charles Schumer says he's compromised his department's commitment to impartial justice.
Bill Barr has